Hi, how are you? This is another one of my little videos that talks about different hints and particularly about mastering and I was going to talk about meditation, but I think it equally applies to mastering and working with energies. And so what I want to talk to you about is the 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. I think the thing we need to remember, and the thing I think that we forget, is that we are in a learning stage, and learning is never a straight path. It's always about stopping, starting, reviewing. Some days you have progress, some days you don't have progress, because we're not at that mastery stage. So we haven't yet built up, if you like, the habits or the good habits that surround the new practice that we're trying to implement. We haven't put together that muscle memory, or that the triggers that also allow us to automatically go into that phase. These are all the things that we're still trying to learn, and the things we're still trying to embed. Now, one of the things I want to talk to us about is that if we're coming to this and we are no longer young children, young children learn so quickly, and the reason they will learn so quickly is they haven't established all of these habitual neuron pathways. Their brains are quite fresh, so it's really easy for them to create new pathways because they don't have these long grooves already firmly established in their mind about how they think. That's not so for us. We've got a lot of these really strong habitual ways of doing things and thinking about things, and some of them are so deep we're actually not even aware of them. We're not even aware that they come out of our mouth in sentences in many ways until someone feeds them back to us. This is why it's really good to work with a coach, because they can pick you up on those subliminal messages, or those even more obvious verbal messages where we're repeating something but not fully understanding the impact of what we're repeating. So this is just something that I really want you to be totally aware of, is that it is going to be 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, and that's only natural because we're going to be making progress, and some days it's going to all fall into place and it's going to be easy and we're just going to go, way, there we are, beautiful. And the next day when we sit down to do it, we might be a bit tired, we might be a bit flustered, we might have a mind on something else, and it's just going to be that little bit more difficult to do. So I'm just here to remind you that when we are putting something together and it's new, we're trying to change habits, we're trying to change belief systems, we're trying to reinforce a new way of thinking. When we're trying to do that, we are learning. When we're trying to learn to meditate, we are learning. We're learning all these things. So it only makes sense that when we are learning, that we will have progress, and then we'll have times when we stall. Learning is nothing without discipline and commitment. And that's really what we need, is to persevere in those moments when we feel like we're taking the 2 steps back. And we need to have the discipline to keep applying. Because once we keep applying and we have programmed ourselves to think this way, behave this way, and we start enacting what we want to be doing, and in the Buddhist terms or the Hindu terms, we're putting the yantra, which is the act of doing, with the mantra, which is the act of saying, then we're moving forward. Okay, so don't get too frustrated with 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's part of the learning process. Okay, stick with it. It'll pay dividends. You are just learning. Bye.